I know it's hard, you guys, of not focusing on that person because you spent such a good amount of your time thinking about that person all the time, and they were your life. They were a part of your life. They were a part of everything that you did. There was not one thing you did that did not involve that person. You separate from a person, you are hurting. You are confused. You are lost. The first thing that you should not do is jump to a new relationship because you are hurting. You're not doing anyone any good. And that is not fair to the new person to bring all your hurt, your insecurities to this new relationship. You need to heal yourself. You need to love yourself. You need to discover and find that self-love and confidence again before you can give anything to anyone else. If you can't give it to yourself, you certainly can't give it to anyone else. One thing I know for my own self that was probably the best decision I made was I did not go party. I continued to work on myself, my businesses, my working out, my eating, my nutrition, and my physical and mental aspect. And I got involved with things that were uplifting for me, things that I enjoyed. Martial arts, my Muay Thai, my Jiu-Jitsu. And then I started going on hikes. I started getting involved with different activities that didn't just involve the gym. I spent more time with people that were encouraging and supportive and uplifting, not people bringing me down, not people asking me questions all the time about my relationship, people who were encouraging and supportive of me trying to heal and do self-work on myself. People who are not supportive of that, maybe you need to take a break from them for a while. You know, it's those little things that you just have to make. You have to make a lot of decisions. I know this. Yeah, there's a lot of decisions that had to be made and it wasn't easy, but I did it. We, as human beings, when we dig deep and we pull that out, we're capable of such amazing things if we allow ourselves. And the biggest one of all, I did not jump to a new relationship. I did not talk to anybody. I did not date anybody. And also, I was not going to give myself to anyone intimately. Why did I choose not to date? Because I was not going to be good for anybody. I was emotionally upset. I was fearful. I had so many insecurities and so many questions and things I was questioning. The only thing that I would have benefited from jumping into a new relationship was either the temporarily sexual fix or the emotional fix of somebody, but that wasn't going to fix my problem. That wasn't going to fix me. Maybe temporarily relieve me of my pain and my suffering, but everything was just going to come right back. And I didn't want to repeat that. I didn't want to go on this cycle and be like, you know what? Oh, new relationship. Oh, nope, right back where I was. Okay, moving on. Next person. And we do that. We'll jump from the next person and we suck them dry. We just eat up their energy. And that's not fair to those people. And that's why we have so many problems in relationships and why we're bouncing around all the time is because of something like that. I knew I wasn't going to be good for anyone or any new relationship until I bettered my relationship with myself. I didn't know how long that was going to be. I accepted that it was going to be hard and it was going to be hard to be alone. I mean, I don't know how many times I was sitting by myself and I was watching a movie. I'm like, I just want to cuddle with somebody. I just want to talk to somebody. I just want to go to the gym with somebody. All these things that I wanted to do because they were things that I did, things that I enjoyed, things that I were used to. Because I'm sitting there telling myself that I need these things when I need to fill these voids and fix them with myself. I do not need to find somebody or something to fix that. We have these needs that we want to be met. And you try to fill it with anything, something else in the world, a distraction, a person, a thing, drugs, alcohol, overeating, shopping. I mean, there's so many vices that people resort to when they're hurting, when they're unhappy. It's different for each person and they're all temporary. And when that first initial moment, it's gonna wear off. Then what happens? Then you move on to the next thing. Then you move on to the next thing. And you're making the worst mistake is you're not facing yourself. You're not facing how to self-love yourself again. You need to work on that relationship with you. You need to be okay with you. Now, I did talk to guys. I did have friendships with guys, but there was a healthy boundary. I made it very clear to people that I was not dating, that I was not looking for anything, that I did not want that intimate connection. I made it very clear and I was not ashamed of that. I was not ashamed of saying, no, I'm not sleeping with anybody. We get ashamed of taking celibacy. We get ashamed of not sleeping with somebody because we feel like we're going to be judged. Oh, oh my God, are you wearing a chastity belt? You know, don't be ashamed to set healthy boundaries for yourself. Do not be ashamed to say no to things, because in the end, if it's something that you feel so strongly about and something that you're going to be so proud of yourself for doing that. And I know for my own self, all the decisions that I made, even though some of them were the hardest decisions to make in the world, I look back and I'm like, wow, some of the hardest decisions are the best decisions. It just was one of those crazy things where I got to the point where I would be home at night and I'd be like, oh, I'm so excited to be home. Ooh, I want to paint. Ooh, I want to watch a movie. Ooh, I want to cook something. It was natural. It wasn't something that was forced. It wasn't something where I felt like I needed it. It was just, I would go home and be like, you know what, I just want to be home tonight. I just feel so good just to be home. And I'd be home. And then the next day I'd be like, you know what, it sounds fun to go to a movie. And I call up a girlfriend, or I call up my mom, or I call up a sister. Now, I do understand that there are people who are married, that have businesses together, that have kids. That gets very involved and that gets very complicated. I understand that. Now, I'm coming from a point where I don't have kids. I did have a business, but I chose to let those businesses go for my own mental health, for my own healing, and for my own progress. It took me some time to really process what I was going to do with that. And, you know, it didn't happen right away. It took quite a few months. I sat down and I went deep. When I knew that me and my partner were no longer going to be together, there was no future with us anymore, that's when I knew, why would I want to keep a business? You know, I was like, I know what my potential is. I know what I could do. Why not start something new? So it took some time for me to make that decision, but I am very, very happy with that decision. I'm proud of that decision, because now I'm on to new things. I'm on to new ventures, and I can start my own business. I know I can do that. And you have to believe in yourself like that. You really have to do. Even if you're like, I don't know how I'm going to achieve this, you have to believe in yourself no matter what, and tell yourself that, because when you put that into yourself, the things that you're going to be able to do are going to be unreal. Just again, I'm coming from a standpoint, there was no financial ties, there was no kids involved, there was just a business that I could release myself from. Smooth, everything went well, there's no bad blood. You have to make this choice on your own, but I highly recommend seeking help. And that could be a therapist, that could be a counselor, a life coach, whatever it is, and allowing yourself to be vulnerable. Now, I know from my own experience, I've worked with several therapists and counselors over the years, from my dad passing away to my recent breakup. And I can't tell you, having somebody guide you and help give you the tools to navigate through your pain and through your confusion, I do not know where I would be if I would not be where I'm at right now if I did it myself. I would probably be still kind of like trying to plug along. I'd probably be not as far progressed forward if I didn't have the guidance of somebody. The reason for a counselor too, or a reason of seeking help, is also somebody you can vent to. It's somebody from an outside, a non-emotional tide, looks at it from a different standpoint, who's not putting in their own emotion and being like, oh my God, that crazy son of a bee, like, and then they give you their opinion on what you should do. They're looking at it from a more compassionate understanding and a more mature standpoint, more perspective, and then because they're gonna help you heal and get through that, not try to hurt yourself or hurt the other person. And let's face it, we do need to talk. We do need to get stuff out. And a lot of times we end up venting and talking to the wrong people. There's a lot of people, you know, they want to help, but they don't know how. They don't know how to help you in that aspect. And sometimes you get led into the wrong directions. So seeking help and having somebody to vent to, they're going to listen to you, and you can just get everything out, not have judgment, not feel fear. And I know that there was times that I was like, and she was so patient, bless her heart, and she helped me through some of the worst days of my life. It really comes down to, you have to make yourself vulnerable, and you have to accept that I am not okay. I am not okay, and I need help. How do you know when you moved on? How do you know when to move on? Do you want to be in that relationship? Are you going to continue on with that relationship? during your self-work, being alone, doing self-work, seeking out help, and you start doing this work on yourself, over time, it's different for everybody, but over time, you're going to start to find more clarity on things that were so confusing and so chaotic. You're going to start feeling more peaceful in areas. Certain parts of you are going to start to be calm. Your spirit's going to start to calm down. You're going to understand things better. But that comes with, just like anything, just like you would with your body when you're working out and you're trying to do weight loss or weight gain. You know, it all takes time, and it takes consistency and daily commitment to whatever it is you're doing. And, you know, over time, then you start getting progress. You start getting the results you want. The same thing goes for the mental aspect too, of moving on, of, you know, overcoming hurts and learning and growing from your hurts, growing from your situations. You're going to find that clarity. You're going to find, you know what? No, I no longer want to be there anymore. I no longer want to be with that person anymore. You're going to start evolving, and you're going to start growing, and you're going to probably realize there's going to be two people. You might start evolving past each other. You might start going a different path, and maybe you're no longer meant for each other anymore, and that's okay. That's what you're trying to learn and find out and being okay with. But you have to do it alone. You have to be by yourself. So in the process of doing all these things, you're going to start to find more clarity. You're going to start to feel better. You're going to start to find peace. But again, it's a daily commitment and constant work. Just like everything, habits take time to form, habits take time to break. When something upsets you, when something triggers you, when you find you're taking a step backwards, you need to be like, yeah, nope, and rein yourself back in. Journaling, seeking help, you know, consistently. Then you get to the point where things just are easier, and you feel more at peace. You genuinely feel happy. And, you know, things are going to unfold as they should. In time, things are going to become clearer, and you're going to know what direction you want to go. I can't pinpoint anything or say this is what's going to happen for you, and this is where you're going to go, and at this time this is what's going to happen, because everything has happened for me in its own time. If we really want to put a time frame of when I really started everything, it was 2 years ago. A lot of you guys, if you were very religious with my videos, you kind of know when stuff started happening, and then it just started progressing. And you know, it was like this. There was moments I'm not proud of, and I could have handled better. I could have done better. But again, you're doing the best you can off all you know at the time. But that's the beauty of life, is we're constantly learning and we're growing if we stay open to that. We're evolving, we're discovering. You can choose to learn and grow from your situation and keep moving forward, or you can continue to stay in your situation and stay where you are and just keep going in circles, and then wondering why everything's just not working out for you, and it just keeps taking a dump on you. When it comes to dating again, you know, I didn't know when it was going to happen. I got to that point where I was like, I know what I want. I know what my worth is. I know what I deserve. And I really, really, really believed in that. And I put that out in the universe. I even told myself, I am not going to meet somebody on social media. I am definitely not going to download any of those stupid dating apps. Maybe some of you guys had amazing success with it. But for me personally, I was like, no, I'm not going through that. And then one day I had a man walk into my life, completely unexpected, completely out of pocket, random, never would expect. That story will come later. I'll give you guys a little sneaky peek with that. Nick is actually born and raised here in Montana. He's from Montana. In my process of looking to move out here, I ended up meeting Nick at my cousin's wedding in California. Completely unexpected. The universe works in crazy ways. I knew that it was meant for me. You just never know how things are gonna work out. You never know how things are gonna go. But I think the biggest piece of advice I could give you guys is when something happens, good, bad, happy, sad, you always wanna take it and you always wanna learn from it. There's a reason why it's happening. And I am a firm believer in that, and be open to that. Instead of, you know, running away from yourself, running away from your problems, just suppressing and burying down all your hurts and just moving on to the next thing and not even dealing with it, they will build up and they'll build up so much that they are gonna come out, and they're gonna come out in a very ugly way, and on people or situations or things that you don't want them to. So it's very, very important to deal with things as they present themselves. Don't run from it. Sometimes you might need to take a step back, process things, and then reapproach it. But it's when we avoid things and we run from them and we hide from them, they're gonna catch up to you eventually. I truly believe that every single one of you, man and woman, no one person is better than the other. No one person is worse than the other. Every single one of us deserves love and happiness and a good life, but that is all up to you and what you do and what you do for yourself. When you take care of yourself, you stop running from them, only good things are gonna come to you. You're gonna find that love and that happiness, and it's gonna affect every single thing around you and your relationships. You're gonna have amazing relationships. Many of you are currently going through some hurt right now. I know what you're feeling. I completely understand. I feel for you. I've been there. Just know you're gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be okay. Stand up, step up, take your power back, take control of you and your life. I know that this video isn't gonna fix everything for you. It might, it might give you some clarity. It might give you some tools and some things that you can take to kind of get you going, taking those steps in the right direction. And I hope that they do. Again, it all comes down to you, the decisions you make, the commitment you put in, the work that you put in for yourself and your situation. That's where true healing comes from. That's where true happiness is gonna come from. That's where true change is gonna come from. And you're gonna find your way. You're gonna find your answers. You're gonna find the clarity that you've been longing for. And you're gonna find that peace that you've been longing for. I promise you. But thank you guys for listening, for sitting in. I love you guys so much, and thank you for always being so supportive. A lot of you have been a part of my journey for a very, very long time, and I appreciate every single one of you, all the positive vibes that you put out, the love, the support. I mean, it's just, the respect. You guys have been so unreal and so amazing. It's just like, sometimes it's so overwhelming, and there's been moments that I literally cried over social media, like good happy tears, because I'm like, wow, people are just so amazing. Like, humans can be such amazing, loving beings. You guys are gonna be okay. I promise you that. Mwah! I will see you on the next video.
Is this what we become? Strangers on the run, looking for something.